One of the most dangerous cyber armies on Earth doesn't come from Silicon Valley, Russia, or China. It comes from a country where most citizens have never even used the internet, North Korea. A nation isolated from the world, starving under sanctions, economically broken, and yet somehow, its hackers have stolen billions of dollars, attacked governments, infiltrated corporations, shut down hospitals, and terrified intelligence agencies across the planet. But here's the strangest part. Many of these hackers don't even live inside North Korea anymore. They operate from hidden apartments in China, office buildings in Russia, and anonymous hotel rooms across Southeast Asia. Invisible, untouchable. And according to investigators, their operations are funding an entire regime. Missiles, weapons, nuclear programs, all powered by stolen money. Because North Korea discovered something terrifying. You don't need tanks to attack the world anymore. You just need code. And the story of how they built one of the most feared cyber forces on Earth is far stranger than most people realize. To understand how this began, we need to go back decades, long before ransomware, before crypto theft, before cyber war became a global threat. North Korea was already preparing. During the 1980s, Kim Jong-il reportedly became obsessed with technology and asymmetric warfare. He understood something early. North Korea could never defeat powerful countries in a traditional war. The United States had stronger weapons, stronger economies, stronger armies. But cyberspace changed everything. In the digital world, a poor country could still become dangerous. So while the world focused on missiles and nuclear tests, North Korea quietly began building a hidden army, an army of hackers. The regime started selecting gifted children from schools across the country. The best students in mathematics and science disappeared into elite programs. Some were sent to secret universities. Others were trained directly by military intelligence. Their mission was simple: learn how to penetrate enemy systems. And unlike ordinary citizens, these students were given something extremely rare in North Korea: access to computers, foreign technology, and eventually, the internet itself. They became digital soldiers. And over time, that secret program evolved into something much larger. A cyber unit intelligence agencies would later call Lazarus Group. At first, almost nobody took them seriously. North Korea was seen as isolated, outdated, technologically behind. But behind the scenes, the regime's hackers were already probing banks, governments, and corporations around the world, quietly testing defenses, learning, waiting. Then came the first major warning. Sony Pictures Entertainment was suddenly attacked by hackers. Executives received threats, private emails leaked online, unreleased films were exposed, internal systems collapsed. The company was in chaos. And the reason behind the attack sounded almost absurd. A comedy movie. The Interview, a film depicting the assassination of Kim Jong-un. According to U.S. investigators, North Korean hackers retaliated against an American corporation over a movie. That was the moment the world realized something disturbing. North Korea wasn't using hackers only for espionage. They were using them for intimidation. But that was only the beginning. Because soon, their operations became far more aggressive. Banks started losing millions. Cryptocurrency exchanges were mysteriously drained overnight. Hospitals were locked by ransomware attacks. Governments detected intrusions inside critical infrastructure. And investigators kept finding the same fingerprints: North Korea. One of the most infamous attacks happened in 2017. A malware known as WannaCry suddenly spread across the planet. Computers began shutting down everywhere. Hospitals in the UK lost access to patient systems. Factories stopped operating. Companies froze completely. Within hours, over 150 countries were affected. It looked like digital chaos. And according to cybersecurity agencies, North Korea was behind it. But perhaps the most shocking part wasn't the destruction. It was the motive: money. Sanctions had crippled North Korea's economy. The regime needed cash, and hackers became one of the country's most valuable weapons. Instead of exporting products, They started stealing digital wealth directly from the global financial system. Bank transfers, crypto wallets, exchanges, investment platforms. Nothing was off limits. Investigators believe North Korean hackers have stolen billions of dollars over the past decade. Billions, enough to fund weapons programs, missile development, and government operations. In other words, cybercrime became state policy. And the hackers themselves lived very differently from ordinary North Koreans. Some operated abroad under fake identities. Others worked inside heavily secured compounds. Former defectors described endless work schedules, constant surveillance, and immense pressure from the regime. Failure wasn't tolerated, because in North Korea, losing money for the government can be deadly. But despite all this, tracking them remains incredibly difficult, and that's what makes them so dangerous. Most cybercriminal groups want profit. North Korean hackers want survival, which means they're willing to take risks others avoid. And over time, their methods evolved. They stopped relying only on brute force attacks. Instead, they became masters of deception. Fake job offers, LinkedIn profiles, malware hidden inside interviews, crypto startup scams. Sometimes victims didn't even realize they were being targeted until it was too late. One cybersecurity researcher described them as patient predators. And perhaps that's the most terrifying part. Because unlike chaotic hackers chasing attention, North Korean operators often spend months studying targets before attacking. Watching, waiting, learning behavior, until the perfect moment arrives. Today, intelligence agencies consider North Korea one of the most aggressive cyber threats on Earth. Not because it has the best technology, but because it has almost nothing to lose. And that creates a dangerous reality. A country isolated from the global economy can still reach into the financial systems of nearly every nation on Earth. Silently, anonymously, from thousands of miles away. But there's another unsettling question here. If a heavily sanctioned country with limited internet access can build a cyber army capable of attacking the world, what happens when even more advanced nations fully weaponize artificial intelligence, surveillance, and cyber warfare? Because the real battlefield of the future may not be fought with bullets, but with code. And North Korea may have understood that before everyone else. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you want to see the unbelievable story of the teenager who hacked NASA, the Pentagon, and became one of the most hunted hackers alive, click the next video. I'll see you there.